Hello, everybody. Greg here. The second video I'm making today. Wow. I must be like some kind of insert word here. Okay. Anyway, what did I say I was going to talk about? Yes, I was going to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia. I started reading them at the very end of elementary school, very beginning of middle school. I found them in my school library. And of course, in America, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the first one. I think it's The Magician's Nephew that is the first one in Europe, in the UK. C.S. Lewis, I don't know what else he did, but I just loved the Chronicles of Narnia. I loved them. I really did. And every time I'd read them, I would listen to White Zombie and the Astro Crete 2000 album. I just loved it. I know it's songs of love, desire, depression, or something. I know there's a long title. I think I've even talked about that in an older video. But for me, at that age, and real quick, I know that Astro Crete 2000 had a parental advisory on it. I get that. Back in the 90s, my mom was very open for me about music. She really wanted me to be into music. My dad was huge into music. She was very into music. So she considered parental advisory to be kind of a BS, bullshit, way to get kids to not listen to good music. They even blur all the swear words on this album. Even when I got it on iTunes, it's still blurring out bad words. But for whatever reason, way back then, the album, the songs, the emotion matched perfectly with Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe. And that's where I started. After that, with other books, maybe it didn't mesh perfectly as well. Excuse me, but for whatever reason, they just really meshed well to get me started on it. So then eventually I read all 7 of them, 8 of them. I'm sorry, it has been over half my life since I was into this. I'm very sorry if I don't do all the research, and of course all the things I had back then as a kid are at my mom's place these days in a box somewhere. But yeah, I had this big book. It was about as thick as a Bible, like giant, thick book. You held it. It was thick, and it was what I called my Bible for a very long time because it was a special book. It told you every character, every item, every word that was unique to Narnia, to any country in that world. Because I know there's more than one country, Reading the books, I just loved it. And seeing the map, I just loved it. I drew my own version of the map, and over time, slowly got it a version of Narnia in my own neighborhood. There was this huge forest right by me, right where literally next door to where I lived. And back then it was still so condensed, and they've really cleaned it out since then. There's only a dozen or so trees left. Back then it was a thick forest. You had to find the trail. You couldn't see this huge road after you got about 10 feet in. Monona Drive, look it up. It's pretty big for just a city. It's 4 lanes. Wow. But yeah, you get 10 feet up a hill, and you can no longer see anything in the city because there was so many trees, and I called that my Narnia. That was my Narnia. And there was far enough to walk where there was the country that's above Narnia, and there was like where the giants live if you walked far enough. And then if you went south enough, there was lakes and stuff that I considered parts of the ocean, and that's where the bad guys live. Of course, I forgot their name, but yeah, I would just love this whole album, all of it. Yeah, I remember her saying, I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I was like 13, maybe 12, something like that. I was very young. The main reason my mom was okay with this is she said the swear words are blurred. You're not even going to be hearing them. You're still a little too young to really even know what they're talking about. So yes, you can listen to this. Burn an X in your head. I mean, yeah, maybe some of it is pretty rough, but she just knew it was all a joke. It was all lyrics. It wasn't about doing the things they're singing about. That was an understanding that me and my mom had at a young age. It's not about doing the things they're singing about. It's listening to it and thinking about how they feel, thinking about how you feel. It's about emotions. It's about reactions. Not, hey, now that you've heard it, you got to go do it. That's not how it was in the mid-90s. Whatever. I don't get it sometimes. I really don't get it. These kids. I was born in 83. I don't consider myself a millennial, though. I consider myself a Gen X, one of the last years to be born as Gen X. But hey, if you feel like a Gen X and you were born in 90, awesome. I mean, if you were born yesterday and you grow up and you feel like I should have been a Gen Xer, be whatever you want. That's all I got to say about generations, and I'm pretty much trying to wrap up this whole video. It was a cool series of books, and in my opinion, this was a cool album. I still like a few of the songs here and there. Creature of the Wheel. This was a good one for when Edmund was joining the White Witch, when he started getting into that, and like after she was so like almost nearly begging him and offering all these things, and then he finally said yes, then she started treating him like shit, and that was so hilarious. To me, that was so righteous. And then he didn't get a Christmas gift from Santa Claus. Santa Claus pops in to Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe. I mean, whoa. I really recommend finding the movies. The movies that the BBC made, like I was saying, late 80s, 90s, at some point in time in there, maybe they're not perfect. I get it, because it was a TV station, basically, making a movie, making movies. But who's in them? Who's in them? Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis. One of my favorite actors all around. I'm not talking about just little people, but all actors around. Especially the one he did, the show he did with, come on, Craig. The show he did with that other guy from England. That's awesome. That was awesome. Anyway. Alright, thanks for watching. If you did, wow, over 8 minutes. Please, maybe not as an adult. And of course I don't want kids watching my channel, but go check out the books if you want. The newer made movies from Hollywood or wherever, those suck. Don't even bother. If you can find, or not if you can find, if you have time and want to watch those other ones, please go ahead. I can always go fuck myself. This is an old, weird... And I was talking about that Bible thing that I had. Someday I will make a vid just about that, because, like I said, it talks about everything in that book. And I think I even wrote Holly Bible on it, just to be more, I don't know, religious with plants. No, I honestly misspelled holy. I thought it had 2 L's. I did, as a kid. I was a dumb fucking kid. And I'm a dumb fucking adult. Alright, peace.